everyone. It's Saturday night. I figured I'd come on here and do a live yoga flow. So if you want to join me, I am going to start in a moment. It's just going to be some intentional yoga flow. So we're going to start in a child's pose with our forehead kissing the mat, with our arms stretched out, focused on your breathing. Breathing in, retaining, and releasing. Breathing in, holding at the top, and releasing. If you hear my dog in the background, it's because he's right next to me. And then do some cat and cows. Lift your head up, tuck your head under, and then just stretch your leg out behind and reverse right arm out in front. Just hold it here for a moment and then connect it and then hold here for a moment and release. Then you're going to put your left hand out in front, your right leg out behind, and you're going to hold it here, pull it out to the side, and then back to center, and then grab your right foot behind you and hold it here. Focusing on your breathing. Present moment is very important for yoga because yoga means to unite with your breath work. I'm going to turn on this light right here. And then going back to all fours and then lifting your knees off the ground to go into a bear pose and just holding this pose here for a moment. Just getting your abs warmed up and your hips. And releasing what doesn't serve you. Breathing in and breathing out, focusing on here and now. And then from here, I'm going to go into a downward dog. I'm going to walk my dog to stretch out my legs. And then I'm going to walk my hands back behind me, half lift, forward fold. And then I'm going to stand tall and then pull your left wrist over to the right side, stand tall, center, and then pull your right wrist over to the left side. And then from here, you're going to clasp your hands behind your back. Do like a mini back bend. Forward fold. Release all that breath work. Then put your left hand down, your right hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then reverse your right hand down and your left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And just feel that stretch and that release in your lower back. It feels really good. And from here, you're going to go into a plank pose. You're going to hold the plank pose for a few moments and just focusing on here and now. And that's what I really like about yoga. Yoga forces you to be present with the current moment and focusing on yourself. And then to a vinyasa. And then back to a downward dog. 3 breaths here in this pose. And then we're going to go and repeat the side poses once again. So walk your hands back, half lift, forward fold, stand tall, side bend to the right, grabbing your left wrist, center, you can stand on your toes, side bend to the left, grab your left hand, and then clasp your hands behind your back, mini back bend, forward fold, and then twist, left hand toward the ground, right hand toward the sky, gaze follows, and then your right hand down, your left hand toward the sky, gaze follows, and then walk it out to stand in a high plank for a few moments. And then vinyasa. And then you're back in that downward dog. And as you can tell, when you go through yoga, your mind and your breath work are back in the present moment, because yoga takes you away from whatever is bothering you and brings you and pulls you almost to the present moment, so you can feel what your mind and body are feeling in this moment. So I'm going to do that pose one more time again. The side bends, half lift, then stand tall, side bend to the right, center, side bend to the left, and then mini back bend, forward fold. And then you're going to lift your right hand toward the sky, gaze follows, left hand toward the sky, gaze follows, and then you're going to walk it out into a high plank once again. Again, focused on your breathing and the present moment, and then back to a vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. Now, from the downward dog, we're going to go into kind of like a squat pose. So a lot of times you carry stress, tension, anything that bothers you, a lot of times is carried in your hips or your inner thighs. So I always say stretching out your inner thighs, especially if you sit at a desk all day, is very important. So the Malasana Yogi squat is kind of great here, because you can move in and out just to increase your blood flow. And I always say an inversion is always incredible too. So any inversion that you can do is helpful for your practice. So from here, I'm going to try to do a headstand or just an inversion of some sort. So you could always do a crow pose where you put your elbows on the back of your knees. So it would be like this, and then you lift your head up. So, but you don't ever know unless you try. So what I'm going to do is lift my legs up. The best part about headstands is all that lactic acid is reversed and drained, and it just brings you back to here and now. Another benefit of it. And also you're releasing the pressure and the tension, and sometimes your body doesn't ever get that ability. And now I'm just stretching out my side. And then from here, I'm going to go back to a downward dog. And then I'm going to walk my hands to the back of my mat, stand tall, and then into a chair pose. And I'm just going to hold it here for a few moments. Just feel your body and bring your body into the present moment right now. A lot of times in life, we carry things with us that do not serve us. And as a result, we feel the tension in our body, but we don't even know that we need to release these things. And that includes forgiveness, forgiving people in our life. We forgive for ourselves, and we don't carry it with us. We release that out into the world. And a lot of times people don't do that and carry that burden with them their whole time. So from here, I'm going to go to a twist to the right, open your arms, and then back to center, twist to the left, open wing, back to center. I don't know why my cat is in front of there. And then forward fold, and then walk it out. You can do a vinyasa if you want, or I'm just going to go back to downward dog. From here, I'm going to lift my right leg high, step my right leg through, reverse warrior pose. Your right hand is going to be overhead. You're going to feel the stretch in your side body. Then point your right foot straight, triangle pose. Your left hand goes toward the sky. Stretch is felt in the left side body. And you're going to feel it here in a moment. And then just hold it here for a second. And then from here, dragonfly twist, right hand toward the sky. Your right leg is bent. And then seated half split. You're going to straighten out your right leg. You're going to bend over your left and lean over. And just feel how incredible this stretch feels. And then gate pose. So your right hand is going to go overhead. Your left hand is firmly planted. You're going to feel the stretch in your right side body. and then vinyasa or downward dog. We're going to do these same poses on the left side. So lift your left leg up, step it through, pivot and plant your right foot, left hand overhead, triangle pose, left hand towards your left foot, right hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then from here, you're going to do a dragonfly twist, right hand toward the sky, left hand toward the sky, right hand toward the ground. And then seated half split. Bend your right knee, your left leg is straight, and then feel the stretch in your left thigh. And then gate pose, left hand overhead, and feel the side stretch in your left body. And then vinyasa or downward dog, whichever. If you want to jump to the downward dog, go ahead. And then a few breaths here in downward dog. And then I'm going to mix it up here. I'm going to step my right leg through into a half moon pose. So you're going to lift your left hand toward the sky, and you're going to try to balance here. Try to touch your heart while you're balancing with your left hand toward the sky, or look up. There's always another way you can challenge yourself further when it comes to yoga. And then from here, I'm going to pivot and plant my left foot down. Then I'm going to put my right arm on my leg. Lift your left arm overhead like a swim stroke, and feel the side stretch in your left body. Then from here, I'm going to go into a dragonfly twist, and then vinyasa or downward dog. So from here, I'm going to step my left foot through. It's going to be a half moon on the left side. So right hand toward the sky. Remember to try to challenge yourself by lifting your left hand toward your heart, and then pivoting and planting your right foot behind you, right arm overhead, and then dragonfly twist from here. And then back to downward dog. I have to let my cat out, so give me 1 second. All right. And then back to downward dog was where we were. So we're in downward dog. We're going to go into some strength training holding poses. So I'm going to do another inversion in between. You can skip it if you want, but inversions are always good. So you're going to put your hands down and pivot. Put your legs or knees on the back of your elbows, whatever is good for you. And sometimes when you're warmed up, it'll feel different each time. And then back up. And then from here, we're going to go into a dolphin pose. So you're going to put your arms down, your shins down, kind of like a forearm plank. And then just hold it here for a moment, and then like kind of do a downward dog. Walk your feet in, and then lift your right leg toward the sky and out to the side. It's kind of challenging, of course, so minimize it if you can, if it's too hard. But it's supposed to be challenging. It's yoga, so. If you fall out of course, come back in. Yoga is about challenging yourself and your mind. You won't grow unless you challenge yourself, and there's no better time than right now. Now switch legs to the left leg. Put it up. Shift it out to the left. The best part about yoga is these micro stressors are so imperative to growing your mind and your body, your muscle tension, your everything in between. And sometimes we forget that we can take our mind away from things when we use our body to separate from those things in our life. And sometimes we can go all day and night thinking about something without remembering that you can bring it to the mat to escape from that reality and you can leave it behind. So I'm going to go back to dolphin pose. Back focused on your breath work. And if you want to try dolphin pose or you want to try a forearm headstand, either one is good for you. But remember, you don't grow unless you try it yourself. So whatever works good for you and your body is always what's important. So I'm going to go back to an inversion. And see how long you can hold it. Sometimes when you're in inversion, you can get that great center of gravity that you don't have to even think about falling over. So I say always try because each day is different. So from here, we're going to go to downward dog. Lift your right leg up. Step your right leg in between. And stand your left toe and lift your arms overhead, crescent lunge. Feel the stretch in your abs and just feel the lunge in your body. You're going to hold it here for a moment and then you're going to twist to the right. Your right arm goes behind, gaze follows behind your right arm, left arm out in front, and just stay here for a moment. When you don't challenge your mind or your body, you leave behind a lot. And you're missing out on a lot too. So why not try it, you know? So from here, I'm going to go back down into a vinyasa or downward dog and do the same on the other side. So lift your left leg up, step it through, and then lift your arms overhead, crescent lunge with your left leg in front, and then twist to the left. Now, each side will feel different, so don't think it's crazy if one side feels off than the other. From here, after this, we're going to go into some pyramid poses for your hamstrings. So we're going to keep our left leg in front, clasp your hands behind your back, lean over your left front leg, and just feel the stretch in the back of your left leg. It should feel pretty amazing. Then stand up and switch. Now make sure your legs are straight, and then your right foot is going to be in front. Lean over your right leg and feel the stretch in the back of your right leg. Remember, every time you exhale, you're releasing stress or tension or toxins from your body. And then we're going to go back to downward dog, and we're going to go into the yin postures of the class. So go to a seat on the floor, and I'm going to start with butterfly, but you can start with a different pose if this is too tight. You can always leave your legs out further if it's too much as well. So what I like to do is lift my hands underneath my legs and lean over. In the beginning, it's going to feel kind of tight, but you'll loosen up as you go into the pose. So just give your body a moment to be stuck, to release all the movement and activity that we did, and to focus on right now and releasing all the muscles so that the tissue and everything can just be present. And if we don't give ourselves or our bodies the time to be present in the yin postures, we're missing out. Because the yin posture is just as important as the flow, because it allows the muscles to relax and not jump from one thing to another. It's also the mind relaxation part of class where you can meditate and you can think can use your mind to think outside the box about things. Maybe things will come up that you didn't think of before. And that's what's so great about yoga also is that it's inspiring and invigorating. So just focus on right now. Focus on releasing that breath work that we just did. Sometimes it's interesting because you think you don't need yoga, but you do. So you come to your mat and you think, I'm fine. I don't know why I did yoga yesterday or the other day, but you don't realize that life's micro stressors show up all the time, and it helps you process life's micro stressors. And it's not necessarily something you think about on a momentarily basis, but these micro stressors build up and tension is in your body. And just thinking about how great these poses feel after you've done them, you begin to realize how you need to be present for your body, and sometimes you can't be aware of everything. So release on this pose if you feel like you're ready. And we're going to go into a deer pose. So you're going to bend your right leg in and your left leg behind, and then lean over. It's kind of like a hip stretch also. So if you can't see on YouTube, I will move it down. It looks like this. So this is my right leg. My left leg is behind. And then you lean over wherever it feels good in your body to lean over. Now, every time you do a yin posture, it's not going to feel literally the same as the last time you did it. It's going to be different. So don't assume your body's messed up or something. Every day is different, just like every day is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Hopefully somebody got that Forrest Gump reference. But anyways, on another note, these postures are great to do before bed, or if you're waking up in the morning and you need to stretch your hips because you sat or you laid like all weird and stuff because your dog took up half the bed, or your cat took up half the bed, which tends to happen a lot. Even though my dog is not even that big, he does tend to take up a lot of the bed. So just give yourself the moment to be in these poses, to be present, and to be mindful. Releasing all tension and stress in your body. And then when you're ready, you can sit up and switch sides. So you're going to put your left leg in after you stretch out that right leg and feel all the blood flow come back. And then your right leg is going to go behind. So it's going to be the opposite, and each side is going to feel different. My left hip tends to be tighter than the other. Not sure why, since I'm right-handed. I don't know. Probably tweaked it doing something crazy. So anyways, you're going to lean forward. This side is tighter from me, so it's going to feel awkward. And you're just going to let your body fall into the pose and just be with the moment. Now, a lot of times you might have reoccurring issues in your body or chronic pain, and you aren't aware that you can sometimes do yoga poses to address the issue or help with that issue. So, for example, sometimes I have really bad upper back pain, and because I used to have neck issues. So I like to do, I forgot the name of the pose, but you basically lay on your stomach and you lift your arms up like Superman. And so a bunch of those will help strengthen or gain muscle control in your upper back. And you can modify any position to help you in any which way. So anyways, after the deer pose on the left side, you're going to stretch your legs out. Just feel the blood flow go back to your legs. And then I'm going to show you a trick on how to crack your lower back. So you're going to lay on your stomach, and then you're going to lift your left arm out, and you're facing the right side of your mat. And then you're going to roll over like it's broken wing. And then there, my lower back just cracked. And then when you roll over, for some reason, your lower back will release tension in your body will release tension in the lower back. So it's kind of pretty neat. And if you wanted to, it's a yoga pose also. You can stay on that shoulder, cut off the blood flow there for a few moments, and then roll back over, and it will help you with if you have needed to help focus on your shoulders. So now I'm doing the same thing, but on the left side. Sometimes only one side cracks and the other doesn't. But it didn't crack that time, so pretty sure it's good to go. So from here, I'm going to go into a bridge pose. So you're going to lay down on your back with your legs up, and then you're going to lift your lower back. And you can even do a full wheel and stand on your toes if you want to challenge yourself. But since this is just to wake up the muscles and stretch them out in your lower back, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. So there's that. And then when you're ready, that basically concludes my yoga flow for this evening. So thank you for joining. If you want to follow me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Feel free. I also just started a podcast on Podbean. It's under my name, Fawn Thayer. So if you want to check out the Podbean thing, it's free. It doesn't take 5 years to sign up like every other app out there. You just use your email and you're in. So anyways, thanks for joining and hope to connect with you guys again soon.